to date for November. What's going to happen November 2025 and all things Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, retirement benefits, survivor benefits. We've got a COLA update that is right around the corner. We don't know what it is right now. We'll talk about that a little bit in terms of how they actually do it, when they actually do it. A lot of people have questions about COLA. Did it apply to me? I think they missed my COLA. We'll talk about that. There's a fake Warren Buffett video going out there about the future of Social Security and Medicare. What the video talks about, we'll talk about it. I'll show you an actual video by Warren Buffett about Social Security, and I'll talk about the fake video. We'll also talk about the update on grocery cards, the proof of life forms for those people that are living overseas. Good news there. And this is also a live Q&A, so I've got a bunch of questions already. So let's go ahead and go down this list. And if you have any other questions about all things Social Security, retirement, survivor benefits, spouse benefits, children's benefits, SSI, Medicare, Medicaid, make sure you type your question into chat, subscribe, like, share, and all that kind of good stuff. And that way, if you don't have a question today, you or your loved one might have one next week or next month, and you want to make sure you can find us again. Okay, number one, let's go on the payment schedule. And so we're talking about November, but October, we're going to see a whole bunch of scams out there for, there's already a bunch of scams. I've done a few videos over the last few days about scams, but there's going to be a bunch of social media BS out there over the next week or so, because this is it's still October. We're talking, was it October 22nd today? And in October, you can see here that SSI, Supplemental Security Income, this like a light brownish circle there, they get paid twice in October. They got paid on the 1st. SSI always comes on the 1st, unless the 1st falls on a holiday. And guess what? For November, the 1st falls on a Saturday, and therefore they pay it the day before on a Friday. And a bunch of, I'm gonna control myself. An old Marine Corps sergeant trying to control my language. A bunch of opportunistic social media people out there are going to make a whole bunch of videos about millions are getting paid twice this month. Are you qualified? Click here and check it out. It's just basically a whole bunch of people that are receiving SSI, which is Supplemental Security Income, which is the welfare-based program, low income, low resource program that Social Security administers if you're disabled or you're over 65. They just got paid a day early. So they didn't get paid twice. I mean, well, technically they did get paid twice in 1 month, but it's for the next month. So stop it out there, people. Because when you do that, when these social media, these two YouTubers and all these people out there make these videos about you getting paid twice, or the stupid things about stimulus packet, stimulus money coming in, what happens is people call Social Security and they say, I heard there's 2 payments this month. Is there something been released by the president? Is there a stimulus check I should have got? I didn't get my stimulus check. I heard a whole bunch of people got a stimulus check. And what that does is ruins it for everybody else, because Social Security, even before Elon Musk and Doge and everything came in, Social Security was at a 50-year low, and they were already struggling. Now it's even worse. They've got skeleton crews, and if they're picking up the phone or answering the front door with thousands of people asking about a stimulus check because some idiot did a video on a stimulus check that doesn't exist just to get clicks, then it ruins it for everybody else. Everybody else, disability gets delayed, their survivor benefits get delayed, their retirement benefits get delayed, everything gets delayed because the Social Security employees are having to answer these stupid questions. So I've asked it about 1 million times of the social media people out there, be responsible, but unfortunately they don't listen. So you just have to take it with a grain of salt. And all right, so what else do we have here? So I've gone on my diatribe on that one. And the fact that Social Security, the commissioner of Social Security, who had to look up what the Social Security commissioner was when he was hired for the job, he had no idea what the job was. He has now been, well, not really reassigned. He's been given an extra job as the CEO of the IRS. So Social Security is not a big deal for the current administration. They don't care about 70 million Americans receiving Social Security benefits. And the fact that cuts are going to happen in the future, 23% cut is going to be happening, and another 88 checks if politicians don't do anything, and they haven't done anything in 40 years. So, but the current administration decided, hey, Commissioner of Social Security, you that didn't know what Social Security Commissioner did when we hired you, you know what? Forget about it. You can moonlight. You can do work on Social Security on the weekends or your extra time. Your job now, your full-time job, I guess, is the CEO of the IRS, which was a made-up job. There was never a CEO of the IRS. So the same guy that's technically in charge of Social Security is also kind of in charge of the IRS, and that's always a scary thing. So, so because of that, even the top guy at Social Security is, there part-time, and then we've got a lot less people at Social Security helping you out, helping to make sure you get the right check at the right time. And I've done a few videos over the last few weeks about the cuts in terms of they're looking to make some cuts on disability benefits, making it more difficult to get eligibility, increasing continuing disability reviews. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. So what about the COLA? The COLA normally has already been announced by October 22nd. Last year was announced, I think it was about on October 10th or something. But because what they do is they take the third quarter of this year, which ended September 30th, and they already have that number, and they just do their calculations and they come out with it within about a week or 10 days. But now, because they fired the Bureau of Labor Statistics person, I guess everything, and the government shutdown, everything is taking longer. So the COLA, they said they will announce it in a couple of days. And here's the thing about COLA. People contact me all the time through the live Q&A and other places and say, hey, I didn't get my COLA increase. Everybody gets their COLA increase. What happens is when the Bureau of Labor Statistics come out with it and they determine it's going to be 2.7 or 3.7 or 4.7 or whatever the case may be, Social Security automatically goes into the system and multiplies everybody's by that 2.7, 3.7, 4.7. So everybody gets it. Not only the 70 million Americans that are currently receiving Social Security benefits, any type of Social Security benefits, but all of those people that are looking into their mysocialsecurity.gov and seeing an estimate of what they will receive this year. So if you haven't retired yet and you're thinking about starting your benefits in, January, February next year, once you look at that, after a couple, 3 weeks now, it will have the COLA increase already factored in there. So everybody that's always said, I didn't get the COLA, I say, okay, go to Social Security, contact Social Security and tell them to send you your COLA letter. And they send the letter and it shows, okay, I got it. So yeah, you get your COLA. But at about the same time, they're going to come out with all the other numbers as well. And once they come out with all the other numbers, I'll do a video breaking down what all these other numbers mean. That is obviously the Part B premium. It's $185 this year. Estimates of $206 next year, but we're not sure. So that's an easy one to understand. And I'll go into all of the different costs of original Medicare. So for 2025, like Part A is, if you go to the hospital, you have to pay the first $1,676. Next year, it'll be different. The Part B deductible is $257 this year. Next year, it'll be different. So I'll go into all those details a little bit more in detail so you know exactly what each of those mean. And I'll also go into, if you're currently receiving disability benefits, I'll talk about the substantial gainful activity, the new number for next year. This year it's 1,620. I'll talk about the new one for next year. I'll talk about the annual earnings limit. This year it's 23,400. I'll talk about what that means, how much it's increased. So make sure you subscribe, like, and share, and watch the video when all the final numbers have come out. Okay. But one of the things that has started right now is the Medicare open enrollment period. So if you have a Medicare Advantage plan, or if you want to switch back to a Medicare supplement plan, or if you have a Medicare supplement plan, you want to switch to a cheaper Medicare supplement plan, which you can actually do any time of the year, but for the Medicare Advantage, particularly October 15th to December 7th is your time to do it. So you just need to make sure you get it done by December 7th. And review your plan. Health insurance companies, whatever health insurance company you have, they don't want you to review your plan because they don't want you to look at, the engine that's running your particular plan for next year, all of the details, all of the prices. And so you might keep the same plan if it's still the best one out of the dozens and dozens and dozens, perhaps in your particular area. If it's still the best plan, then you don't do anything and you're automatically re-enrolled in the same plan. But if you want to review your plan, contact someone you know and trust, and to help you review the plan and pick another one if there's a better one in your area. If you need help, you can reach out to Chapter. I've got a few people that called Chapter, and they're kind of a little bit of a hold, because it's the first week of the annual enrollment period. And there's about 1 million people that have lost their Medicare Advantage plans for 2026. So there's tons of people calling Chapter. If you look at my description, you can set up an appointment with them, call them. If they don't call you back within 24, 48 hours, email me at ed@mygovexpert.com, and I will make sure they reach out to you. But again, you have until December 7th. Don't wait until that last week, because that's going to be even crazier. Contact them. If they don't contact you, 24, 48 hours. And remember, your new plan won't start until January 1st anyway. So you've got a little bit of time. So, all right. So what else we got here? The disability CDRs. I have heard from my inside connection that they're going to be increasing those continuing disability reviews substantially. And okay, fine, that's fine. But when they don't have employees to do those things correctly, then a lot of people are going to get in trouble. If they're currently receiving disability benefits and they get one of those CDRs, the continuing disability review, a medical one or a work CDR, and they don't fill out everything perfectly, or the local office doesn't do their thing because they don't have any staff, there might be issues. So be very, very careful. We are going to monitor that, and we're going to try to help as many people kind of navigate the CDR process, and make sure that the administration is also trying to change eligibility for disability benefits. They're doing some things with age and the grid rules and everything, so we're keeping an eye on that. Okay, so there is a fake video that has gone out there. And so this is a computer-generated image of Warren Buffett, the Berkshire Hathaway, the big guy there. And they made a fake of him, and he realized, a lot of people were making fakes of him a while ago. So he's talking about, in this fake video, he's talking about Medicare and Medicare Advantage and IRMA and stuff like that. Some of the stuff it says is incorrect. They're making incorrect connections between IRMA and Medicare Part C and stuff like that. But some of the stuff it says is correct-ish. But if that many people are interested in a video of Warren Buffett, so they trust Warren Buffett, I guess, about Social Security, I figured, hey, let's watch a real video of what he believes about Social Security. And I think this is perfect. This actually goes back, he's a little bit younger here. This is actually 2005. This is when the previous Bush administration was trying to semi-privatize Social Security, and Warren Buffett and his partner there were not for it. So let's see what Warren Buffett actually said. This is not a computer AI generated.
They basically believe that anything that would take Social Security payments below their present guaranteed level is a mistake. I think that in this country, extraordinarily rich country, that the people in their productive years can take care of those outside in both areas, even though the ratio of productive to non-productive has changed and is changing. But we take care of our young And a rich country takes care of its young and it takes care of its old. And
Okay. All right. So he is 100% for Social Security, richest country in the history of the world. We take care of our young people. We can obviously take care of our old people. And he said it's only a small percentage of GDP and what we send on Social Security, because he's obviously a money guy. But let's see what else we have here.
For saving that are extremely good, we have 401ks in this country. We have taxes on dividends and capital gains at 15%. So the money I earn gets taxed at a lower rate than the money that a receptionist in our office may earn. And I would not be doing so well if I were stuck over in Bangladesh or someplace. So this society is providing huge benefits to me that other societies would not. And I think that the obligation for the people who do well in this society is to provide a reasonable level of sustenance for those beyond their productive years. We've got the capability to do it. Right now we quit taxing for Social Security at $90,000, but and that means that everybody in my office is paying, or most of them are paying 12.2 or 12.4%, counting what the company contributes toward this. People talk about double taxation of dividends. They're getting taxed for Social Security and they're getting taxed for income on their income, and they're paying a higher rate or an equal rate overall in many cases to the same rate compared to the rate that I pay. And I think that's sort of nonsense in the society. So I don't want to do anything that.
So this is what our community talks about all the time. The fact that if you, let me throw up the slide here. If you make $50,000 a year, you pay 6.2%, and your employer pays the other 6.2% into Social Security, the FICA tax. But if you're making $500,000 a year, you pay a lot less, because after $176,100, you no longer pay FICA Social Security tax anymore. So Warren Buffett is saying, he probably pays, 0.01%, if anything at all, because one of the things he says, this is on wages and net income, but a lot of people in his level pay, receive their money from capital gains, or they don't take money out at all. They just take loans against their, and so they don't have to pay taxes on it. So we are paying Social Security on every dollar we make, but unfortunately, as he points out, that's not fair because other people aren't, and that needs to be rectified. The cap needs to be increased or completely negated outright.
It hurts the level of the bottom 20 or 30% in terms of their income. I see people living with fear about health care, or living with fear about running out of money in their old age. And I think a society should try to minimize the fear that their inhabitants experience. And that doesn't mean just fear of getting mugged or something. It means fear that the last 25 years of their life, they're not going to have much income.
Okay, so he is 100% for Social Security. He believes in Social Security. This is a time when they were trying to privatize Social Security, and that's kind of what they're, they tried to privatize Social Security, kind of a semi-privatization outright in the previous Bush administration. That was a complete failure, and the people that want to privatize Social Security have determined, okay, wait a second, we can't do it like we did it before. Now we need to create a crisis. It's all about creating a crisis. So what we need to do now is just wait for the super crisis to happen. So 87 more checks, people, that's, January 2033, that's still a little bit off. Once we get down to 20 more checks or 10 more checks, then the American people will be more pliable and they'll do whatever the hell we will tell them to do. And the politicians that want to privatize will say, hey, we tried nothing for 40 years and we're all out of ideas. So you can take a 23% cut, or you can just go ahead and have us give all of that money over to Wall Street, our buddies on Wall Street, and we'll let them do what they want to do with it. And Warren Buffett says, yeah, that's a terrible idea. It should essentially stay the way it is now. There are some tweaks that need to happen, and he mentions what those tweaks are, is raising the cap, and he said that back in 2005. And what about the video that was going around, the fake Warren Buffett? They were talking about Medicare, and that's the kind of the true part, I guess, that the fake video was talking about. It was talking about the fact that people are they're kind of pressured to get into a Medicare Advantage plan when there's other options. And there's two ways people get get into a Medicare Advantage plan when they shouldn't, when they possibly have other options. And one is you don't know about it. The entire industry, agents, brokers, the health insurance companies make more money when you enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan. So it behooves a lot of people out there to sell you a Medicare Advantage plan. When there's also Medicare supplement plans, but those have a monthly premium. So sometimes people sign up for a Medicare Advantage plan because they don't know there's an alternative. But a majority of the people, they sign up for a Medicare Advantage plan because of it's zero premium. And the fake video says, yes, it's a zero premium, but it's a pay-as-you-go type system. So if you're healthy, there's a lot of people that love their, Bella is back from the hospital. Welcome back, Bella. We're glad you're back home. So welcome back. A lot of people out there that love their Medicare Advantage plans, and awesome. So the thing about Medicare Advantage plans, Bella fights for hers, I know, all the time. Persistence. That you just need to make sure that the health insurance company is, taking your health into consideration, number one, rather than their profit motive, right? So a zero premium plan, if you have a crystal ball and 100% for sure you're going to last another 50 years on this earth, and you're not going to get, sick too bad or get into an accident or something, then 100%, I highly recommend a Medicare Advantage plan. Pay $0 and save that, $100, $120, $150 that you would have paid for a Medicare supplement plan. Save that money. But if something happens, you get sick or you get in an accident or something, and you've got that zero plan, then you've got the prior authorizations, you've got the networks, you've got the, $100 for, hospital per night, $500 a hospital per night. You got, charges for the MRI or CT scan or something like that. So there's ongoing charges that reset every year. With a Medicare supplement plan, like you do a Plan G, if you have $1 million of healthcare costs, you pay $257. The Part B premium. Obviously, you're paying the monthly, premium, but you pay $257 the yearly deductible, the annual deductible, and that's it. So Medicare and your Medicare supplement plan pays the other $997, $999, whatever, everything but $257. But if you're going to get a Medicare Advantage plan, then you just get the best one for you, and you just follow the 7 P's there. You make sure you get the best one. If a Medicare supplement isn't in your budget, then you get a Medicare Advantage. You just have to be persistent and make sure they're not giving you a hard time, and that's one of the things that chapter helps you with. So that's what the kind of the fake Warren Buffett video. It wasn't him. Some of the connections he made were incorrect, but some of the stuff it said was correct. But we need to watch out for those fake videos. I know an earlier version of his fake video was him hawking those grocery cards, which are the over-the-counter grocery cards. And those are only connected to Medicare Advantage plans. And they do exist. Unfortunately, starting December 31st, they're going to exist less. The program that really expanded those grocery cards, some people were receiving $200, $300 a month grocery cards from their Medicare Advantage plan. That program ends December 31st. And I've already heard people throughout the country, their grocery card, their over-the-counter drug card for 2026 is about half or 10% of what it was, or they was canceled completely. And then some people said, oh yeah, it's exactly the same. There's no change. And I actually increased. So it really depends on your particular area. But they do exist, but they exist through Medicare Advantage plans. And particularly Medicare Advantage dual eligible plans. Those are the ones for people that have Medicare and Medicaid. So someone said, Alan says, I heard Dr. Oz, the billionaire director of Medicare, Medicaid, not impressed. This guy does not know Medicare basics. Another unqualified reason. Yeah, when I think at RFK Jr. went up there, he didn't know the difference between Part A and Part B, and he's actually Dr. Oz's boss. Yeah, that should know this stuff. And Dr. Oz on his old TV show, he used to always push Medicare Advantage plans. And there's an attempt to make Medicare Advantage plans the default. So when you turn 65 or something and you're eligible for Medicare, you don't go down to Social Security like you do now. You sign up for a Medicare Advantage plan, or actually, they automatically sign you up for a Medicare Advantage plan, the whichever one they choose in your particular area. And they're trying to say that once they choose the Medicare Advantage plan for you, you can't change it for a couple of 3 years or so, unless there's some type of exception, you move or something like that. So that's what they're talking about. Hopefully we're going to make sure that doesn't happen. That's that's not going to be good at all. But that's a policy that's out there. That is, and remember, it's just a bill until it's no longer a bill. So we have to make sure and we go out there and tell people, yeah, we don't want that. So. All right, next thing, and then we'll get into the live Q&A, is the proof of life forms. What's a proof of life form? The proof of life form is for those people that are living overseas. And if you're receiving Social Security benefits overseas, you can receive it, no problem, unless you're in North Korea or Cuba. But because you're overseas, Social Security wants to contact you every now and then, sometimes every year, every 2 years, and just say, are you still out there? Because most times, depending on your country, the Social Security, the federal government is not notified of your passing. There are some exceptions, but so Social Security sends out this proof of life form essentially every now and then. And the policy was just changed within the last month or so that you can now do that through what's called an attestation, where you can contact the 800 number back home. You can contact your local office back home, wherever you're from. You can contact the federal benefits unit, the Social Security federal benefits unit in whatever embassy or whatever region of the world you're in. And they will read a disclosure type thing and ask you a bunch of questions to make sure you're actually you. And then they can attest, rather than a wet signature, as Social Security calls it. They can attest that you're still out there alive and kicking, and then your benefits continue. And some people complain, well, I can't call 800 number from where I'm sorry. But there's I've gotten a lot of contacts from people that said, yep, they did it. And it took a little persuading for the not for the federal benefits unit, but for their offices back home, wherever they're from, Topeka, Kansas, or Bradenton, Florida, whatever the case may be, and tell the employee, because this is kind of a new policy, tell the employee, hey, you can attest. Check out the new policy. And then the Social Security employee disappears for a few minutes and then comes back on the phone and says, oh, okay, yep, I found it. All right, so let's go ahead, and they read you the disclosure, and it's easy. So a lot of people have had very, very good luck with that. So that is out there. Okay, and let's go ahead and do the live Q&A. If you're watching this on a recording, you can go onto my website, mygovexpert.com, and on the bottom left, you'll see a little recording thing, a question or comment. You can click on that, and you can record a video up to 2 minutes and give me your comments, your questions, anything like that. So I've got a few of those, but let's get into some questions. Michelle, I have health care with my husband, but I'm just going to sign up for Medicare, but my insurance wants me to sign up for A and B. I'm on my husband's insurance. Okay, so for Social Security, it sounds for Medicare, it sounds like you don't need to sign up for any of that because you have health insurance from your husband's work. But if if there's fewer than 20 employees, then yes. But if the health insurance comes from current work and that plan has 20 or more employees, that employer has 20 or more employees, then technically you don't have to sign up. Medicare doesn't make you sign up. They don't penalize you if you don't sign up. But it sounds like his health insurance company wants you to sign up because they want to move the costs. So they'll make, they want to make Medicare the first payer, I guess. So yeah, your health insurance company is trying to, yeah. So if they're making you, then I guess you got to do it. But if you sign up for Part A and Part B, then you have the option of also, picking a Medicare Advantage plan or picking a Medicare supplement plan, Plan N, G, whatever the case may be, whichever one you like. And maybe that might be better than your husband's insurance. And because you're going to be paying the $185 anyway. So, so I would definitely check that out. Find out the details on your husband's insurance for next year, and then find out what's available in your area. You can reach out to Chapter and they can help you navigate everything. And they say, hey, okay, well, the best plan for you based on your doctors and yada, yada, yada is this. And then they'll help you compare that with what you have from your employer. And you might just want to, stop your husband's insurance. So let's see. Again, Chapter said I can go from a Medicare Advantage to a Medicare supplement. If I didn't like it, I could go back. I'm not sure if, yeah, it's called a trial right. So for the first year, you have kind of a trial right. In some states, you have a trial right always. But in most states, the federal program is, yeah, if you don't like it, it's a trial right. You can go back within 12 years. So, Bella, welcome back, Bella. Hospitals are short staff. I had great care, worrisome of what's going to happen. Hope it's not so brutal. Yeah, and the hospitals are going to be even worse going forward because they're going to be losing that Medicaid money. They're going to be losing Medicare money. They're going to lose the Affordable Care Act money, and hospitals are going to have to take that hit. The uninsured people going to the hospitals, the emergency rooms, and they don't have health insurance. So they go there, they get treated, and they just walk away. And that's going to cost everybody else more. Yeah, we're choosing the worst possible system because we want to save a dime now. So we're willing to throw away $100 later. So there's always people in need, disabled, and philanthropic or religious organizations help, but they're gone after the U.S. government created welfare. So it's grossly irresponsible to remove them without replacement. Yeah, I mean, if you look back in American history, then the private organizations were never able to keep up, period. End of story. So it's not a one or the other type of situation. Yeah, if you look back historically, that's not accurate. I pray you get the help you need and that God bless you and your families. I'm out and I will make it through this or not. All right. Thank you for wishing everybody well. Dr. Oz was on the radio station I listened to, WGN Chicago, for 10 minutes, showed his ignorance. Yeah, I have to check that out and see what he said. Yeah, but he is, yeah, I don't know. Let me see, Purple Love. I spoke to Kim at Chapter and she got me an Advantage plan with Part B give back in my area. Okay. Yeah, that's actually one of the things that in the fake Warren Buffett video, I think he talks about that. There is what Purple Love got was a Medicare Advantage Part B give back. And if there's one available in your area, what it does is, as the name implies, it gives you part of your Part B back. So if there's one in your area that, let's say, pays $50, $100, $185 of your Part B, it pays for your Part B, part or all of it. But I'm sure Purple Love knows that those are good if you're young and healthy-ish. But, these health insurance companies, they don't like giving out that money unless they've got something ulterior, right? So the Part B give back, if they're paying $100, $185 your Part B, then they're going to be taken out of someplace else. And if you don't get sick or injured, then you're good. Then you're going to save, hundreds of dollars next year. It's a beautiful thing. But if you have a Part B give back plan and then you compare it with another one that doesn't give back, maybe the Part B give back plan, it's $500 a night for a hospital and the other one is $100 a night. So, health insurance companies don't get to be billion-dollar health insurance companies for being dumb. But that is, it's a good idea. Again, if you're youngish, healthy-ish, remember next year and during the annual enrollment period from October 15th to December 7th, at that time, you look at your situation again and say, yeah, I'm still healthy. I'm eating right. I'm exercising. Everything's good. I'll throw the dice for another year and get, $1,000 back and take a little vacation. But if next year it turns out that I'm starting to feel a little bit of this, I think I need to go do this and I need to do this other thing, then you switch to another plan that has more coverage. And unfortunately, you might lose that, that money. So let's see. Thank you, Nona. I'm under 65 and it never allowed us to supplement program before this year, to my knowledge. Okay, so the supplements program, the Medicare supplements. If you're under 65, in most states, you cannot get a Medicare supplement plan. That's just the way the state laws are. Once you hit 65, and the people that get Medicare under 65 are those people on disability. That's why health insurance companies don't want to give you a Medicare supplement plan, because you're on disability and it's going to cost them a lot of money. So, but once you turn 65, they can't discriminate against you. They can't, deny you for any pre-existing conditions, which is the stupidest phrase in the English language. The American English, because no other countries really use that. They can't charge you any extra. So a lot of people that are on disability, once they turn 65, please check out a Medicare supplement plan. If it's not for you, then it's not for you. At least you've checked it out. You always go over all your options. So let's see, you got some other questions. At 62, do I qualify for my husband's benefits even if we are separate? Yes, but because you said separate, you didn't say divorce. In that case, your husband has to be receiving Social Security benefits. So if it's a divorce type situation, then it's called independently entitled divorce spouse benefits. Independently entitled divorce spouse benefits, as long as your divorced spouse is 62 years old, doesn't matter whether they're receiving benefits or not. You can get benefits on that person's record as long as you're divorced for 2 years. But since you're still technically married, then your spouse has to be receiving benefits. You file for benefits on your own record. And then if your spouse is receiving benefits, then you file for benefits on that person's as well. So, okay, yeah, I just I'm keeping it kind of under secret that our new website 24help.org, and that's the new one we've been working on. So we've got a lot of work. We've got the outline of it. We've got the structure of it. Now we need a whole bunch of compassionate people to fill it in, So that's what we're going to be working over for the next several months, is getting people. So it's 24help.org. So go in there and check it out. And it's in beta testing. So if you see any issues there, if you've got any recommendations, then on the top, it has a little feedback thing, and we're going to continue working on it. And this is a website to help y'all navigate the bureaucracy, to help each other out, to get your help in terms of Social Security, Medicaid, food stamps, food banks, legal help, all of it. So let's see what else we got here. Love my Part B give back benefit plan, only paying $35 from Part B. Yeah, so there's another one. Remember, Sharon. So yep, keep on. If you're still good next year, remember, that's what your plan is paying this year. So they're paying what, $150 of your Part B for you. So you're making what, $1,500 or more every year. So that's a beautiful thing. But make sure you check it for next year and see if they're still paying the $150. They might not be able to tell you 100% because we don't know what the Part B is going to be for next year. Yeah, if you're still healthy, absolutely go for it. Let's see here. I spent all day searching for a new insurance policy. I decided to go with this company, Chronic Care. I can keep my doctors and medications, and it's affordable. I waited 8 hours for, yeah. Chapter had a lot of issues with the global downage of the Amazon Web Services and the fact that we're still in the first 10 days. So you got plenty of time. And remember, when to find a plan, anybody can find you a plan for next year, for 2026. But the key is to also get that help, that persistence. So that's why my son and I chose to partner with Chapter, is because they just don't sign you up. They can sign you up for that plan that you found there and just tell them, I want to sign it. And that way you become a client. And then next month, 3 months, 6 months from now, if you have an issue, you got a prior authorization, you need to help fight, Chapter's there to help you. If you got some type of weird bill you don't understand, Chapter's there to help you. If you lose your doctor, you need to find another one, Chapter's there to help you. They can schedule appointments for you, find new doctors. So they provide so much extra. And as long as they keep doing that, we're going to keep recommending them. When they stop doing it, then my son and I will look for some other place to help you all out. So the ACA healthcare subsidies are being cut, and millions of ACA healthcare users will see huge increases in their plan costs, 100%, 200%, even 300% increases in healthcare. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. And people always say, oh, Obamacare is terrible. Okay, what part of the ACA, what are you talking about? What's terrible about it? Because the Affordable Care Act is just regulations. It's just laws that says companies can't deny you for pre-existing conditions. What's wrong with that? Remember the old days where we used to hear all the time of some little girl, 10-year-old little girl got some terrible disease, and the health insurance company said, yeah, we're not going to cover you, or we're going to kick you off. Remember when they used to do that all the time? The Affordable Care Act says, you can't do that, dirtbags. You just can't do that. And it says you're going to cover basic needs, doctor visits, hospital stays, OBGYN. Before, they used to be very selective of what they would cover, and it says, no, you got to cover, you got to cover what people need. There's no lifetime caps. Before there was a lifetime caps. Oh yeah, you filled, we already spent, $300,000 on you, so we're going to kick you off. ACA says you can't do that. It says it makes it affordable, and that's where it got messed up. In order for health insurance companies to cover pre-existing conditions and not kick people off when it's financially beneficial for them and all this other kind of stuff, health insurance companies said, hey, you got to throw us a bone here. If we're going to be insuring all these people, and the people that are sick are going to get insurance, and the people that are not sick, they're not going to get insurance. And therefore, that's how health insurance, that's how insurance, car insurance, all insurance works. You got to have people that are not having accidents, that are not sick, that are not having their houses burned down, pay premiums. And that's the money we use to, pay all the other stuff. So if only people that are sick get health insurance, then we're going to go out of business next week. And that's where the mandate came in, that everybody has to have health insurance. And that's why the prices were going to be, a lot better. But then they kicked back the mandate, and so prices went up. And then the government came in and said, well, we still got to have people covered because it costs we as a country a lot more. So we will subsidize that. So, and that's what the shutdown is right now, is the fact that one political party says, no, we don't want to help people get health insurance. We don't want people to get the Affordable Care Act. We don't want people to get Medicaid. So that's what the issue is right now. That's what the shutdown is. And it's like, okay, if you don't want to subsidize it, let's go back to where, there's the mandate that everybody, has to have health insurance, just like we have to have car insurance and all the rest of it. So, Cup of Joy, hit like for this awesome guy. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. You are too awesome yourself. Yes, Mayo Clinic is dropping a lot of plans. Yes, the Medicare Advantage plan, Mayo Clinic is dropping. And remember, that's one of the reasons I recommend Medicare supplement plans. But I understand over 50% of people get Medicare Advantage. With Medicare supplement plan, you can go anywhere you want. If whatever Mayo Clinic takes Medicare, then they take whatever Medicare supplement plan you have. They don't even ask. They don't care which one you have. Dr. Weir, does chapter compensate you for advertising? It's not a call center. Yeah, call center is, a lot of those been shut down. Those are the people that would call you all the time, and they would find your number in Facebook and buy your for $1 a piece and stuff, and then just call you and harass you, which a lot of people are being called and harassed right now. If who is this? Gary with 2 R's. If you contacted me, if you said right now, hey, Ed, tell chapter to call me, I wouldn't, but if I called chapter and I said, hey, Gary with 2 R's wants you to call them, chapter would laugh at me and says, come on, Ed, you know we can't do that. Gary, if he wants to talk to us, he has to call directly to our phone number, the phone number up there. And so a call center doesn't do that. Yeah, a call center, they just harass people on a regular basis. And yes, they do, as it says down in my description, they absolutely do throw a few bucks our way. And that helps with the website, the mygovexpert.com. That helps with that website, which has helped a lot of people. It's a free website. The 24help.org, the brand new that I just released today, that cost a crazy amount of money. And yeah, it's chapter helped with all that. So we appreciate them. But don't tell anybody that, because chapter gets their money from health insurance companies. And we don't want health insurance companies to know that they're doing right by people and helping people out. Because they might have, wait a second, the money we pay to chapter, and chapter pays some of that to Ed and his son, and Ed and his son put out all these great websites to help people out there struggling. We can't do that. We're not in the business to help. So anyway, that's just a joke. Come on. Is Mayo dropping Medicare Part A and Part B? I have Blue Cross Blue Shield supplement they're just doing the Medicare Advantage plans. They're just dropping the Medicare Advantage plan. So if you have Medicare A and B, then you're good. So again, when you have a supplement, all you have to do is most 95% of doctors, clinics, and hospitals out there take Medicare. You just call them up, you take Medicare. You don't have to say, do you take my flavor of Medicare supplement plan, which covers the other 20%? You don't even have to ask that. If they take Medicare and whatever you do is medically necessary, it's done. Then what happens, let's say you have a $100,000 surgery or whatever, and you have Medicare. Then Medicare Part B pays $80,000 of it. And then Medicare computer system talks to your Medicare supplement computer system and says, hey, we paid the $80,000, kick out the other $20,000. And they kick out the other $20,000, maybe minus your annual deductible of $257. And that's it. They have got no say-so whatsoever. There's no prioritizations. They can't deny it. None of that crap. So, let's see here. So sorry, Mama, sending good wishes for healing. Yeah, you guys are awesome. And y'all are the reason we spend all this time and effort and money on 24help.org, is because watching our community here every day during the live Q&A help each other and give people recommendations and motivate people and condolences and be there for people in their corner. We do that, and then the video ends and it's out. So we wanted something more permanent there that we can control, because there's a lot of toxic crap out there. And so we wanted to control all the toxic crap out there. So we just decided to build our own website. So that's what we've done. And there's a bunch of discussions. And if we want another discussion forum, then just let me know and say, hey, Ed, you're talking about this, that, and the other. We should start another section on this. Just let me know, and we'll start another section on it. So if there's enough demand, we'll do it to it. Curtis, Dr. Ed, still needing the new Social Security check arrival dates. Hopefully nothing has changed. Nope, nothing has changed. Everything is same for November as I popped up on the original. So you can actually go into SSA.gov, and this is actually the sheet, obviously cut off the top months there. But you can just go in there and print it off as well, or save it to your phone or something like that. I'm not sure whether the 2026 one is out yet. It might be out, but it'll tell you exactly if you get paid, regular retirement benefits, then second Wednesday, depending on your birth date and everything. So, yep, everything stays the same. So don't listen to all that garbage out there about 2 checks and all this other kind of stuff. So next year, my Part B increases to $50 for 2026 with my Medicare Advantage plan. Still healthy at 71 years young. I like it. Your Part B increases. So it's not Part B. It's that they're paying $50 less, it sounds like. That's probably it. So maybe they were paying $100 of your Part B premium this year, and next year they said, yeah, we're only going to pay $50. So, yeah. So it's not that your Part B premium is increasing, they're just paying less. So, TJ, should we expect to get a call back from Chapter if we called a week ago? Yes. With the first 5 or 6 days, they were crazy busy. And then they had the global shutdown of Amazon Web Services. But TJ, or anybody, if you're having a hard time, email me at ed@mygovexpert.com and say, hey, I didn't get a call back. But before you do that, just call them one more time. It should be a lot easier to get in there now. Or you can also schedule an appointment in my YouTube description there. It has a little place where you can schedule an appointment. So those are your 3 options. Give them a call again, see if you can get through, or email me or schedule an appointment. Pam talked with Becky from Chapter. She was so helpful, and I got my husband set up with a Medicare supplement. We both think you are working harder now than ever before. Thanks for caring. Yes, I think so too. I'm still teaching, university courses, and so I just finished grading all my midterms, and doing this and trying to keep up with all the craziness. It's, I think I've been, except for the Marine Corps. I was kind of busy when I was in the Marine Corps. It's a lot less mileage on my knees right now too. So at a Social Security hearing, I won back pay, but never received it. Every time I call, they say it's in processing. That was 10 years. Whoa, wow. Yeah, that was 10 years ago and I never got it. What can I do? It's in processing. No, that makes no sense whatsoever. To get back pay based on the administrative law judge approval, it does take time, but not 10 years. Something's messed up. And one of the problems is the processing centers. That's where your case is probably being handled. A lot of those were closed down by Doge and Elon Musk. So it's time for you to reach out to your politician. Reach out to one of your 2 federal senators, your congressperson, the one that goes down Washington, D.C., not your state ones, your federal ones. And on their website, they all have a little button there that says, I need help with a federal agency, or call, and it becomes a congressional. And then when you do that, you tell them your story, and they send it to Baltimore, the headquarters of Social Security, and then that trickles down to your local office, and they're supposed to take action on that within 24 or 48 hours. So I would do that. It's still early in the day. Not sure where you're at. But I would do that immediately, if not sooner. And let us know how it goes. Partisan divisions remain stark, with 94% of Democrats viewing the law favorably. Wonder what law. That was interesting on the video I showed. Partly showed his left-hand man or right-hand man, his partner. Let's show this. This is kind of interesting. Whatever happened to those days when you got Warren on the left, literally, he's a Democrat, and then you got Charles Unger on the right, who's a Republican, but they're civil to each other. Whatever happened to that America?
I would lift the $90,000 way up. In fact, I might apply it, on all income. Then you'd really get people's attention. And I would gradually, and we're in the process of doing this, but I would certainly increase the retirement age. I mean, the world in 2005 is much different than the world in 1937 in terms of longevity prospects and the ability to function productively. Charlie, what do you say?
Well, that's the view from Berkshire's Democratic chairman.
Civil. Wow, whatever happened
And
to
the
this
odd
place?
part of Berkshire on this issue is that the right-wing Republican who is speaking feels more strongly than Warren that the Republicans are out of their cotton-picking minds to be taking on this issue right now.
And remember this. So this is in 2005 when George Bush, the younger one, the son, was trying to semi-privatize Social Security, and so Charlie's saying, "Yeah, what are they doing? This is stupid."
I do not, if the country is going to get richer at 1 or 2% per annum for a long time ahead, and it's going to have more old people who are living longer and spending money on medical care, the idea that eventually a higher share of GDP would be going through Social Security to retirees and so on that we now have is not anathema to me. It's an exactly logical way to be spending money under different circumstances. And if the government runs out a little short of money as it gets more Social Security obligations, I see nothing wrong with having some consumption taxes or whatever to pay in a reasonable way for what is a very reasonable expenditure. Social Security is very successful. Apart from the disability element, which is relatively small, there's practically no fraud. It's hard to fake being dead. And furthermore, it's a reward for work. All kinds of people are working in this country because they want to eventually qualify for Social Security. Just as many people are doing dangerous military service because they want the pension that will come eventually. So Social Security is a very capitalistic institution with profoundly good effects. It's one of the most successful things the government has ever done in terms of efficiency and good effects.
I agree. Yeah, there is fraud, waste, and abuse of Social Security. Obviously, there are. Obviously, Social Security employees that find that every day. Elon Musk wasn't able to find any of these. It's interesting. He says that you can't fake being dead. Elon Musk, that's what he was obsessed with, was those 120-year-olds, receiving Social Security benefits, which they weren't. He was looking at the wrong database. So anyway, Elon, he never fessed up and said, "Yeah, I was wrong about that whole thing." So fess up, guy. Come on. But yeah, it's those are the old days when people were civil to each other. So someone says, yeah, the great program, great help to us Americans. I called Chapter and couldn't be more grateful. They got me in fantastic plan. You're awesome, and so is Chapter. And remember, the only reason people are able to get this help and everything that we've been able to do for the past year and a half is because people have liked and subscribed and shared and whipped this stupid algorithm that usually, there's 6 or 7 companies throughout the country that control these algorithms, and they have figured out that hate and rage is the number one way they make money. So these algorithms, they just feed on hate and rage, and that's why we've gone away from civil discussions like these two gentlemen have had. So let's see. If you're already healthy, looking for a Medicare Advantage plan in your area with a Part B give back benefit, just search for that or call Chapter. Yep. So, but remember, you can change that every year. I always make sure. Again, if you have a crystal ball and you're going to be healthy and never have an accident forever, then stick with the 0 premium for the rest of your life. Yeah, don't waste your money. But life is what happens while we're making other plans, right? All right, let's see what else we got here. I was approved for Social Security pension back in September and to start first week of November. I turned 62 yesterday. Congratulations. Hopefully I get my first check soon. Yeah, you shouldn't have an issue. You have to remember the reason you turned 62 yesterday, which is October, but you can't start in October because you have to be 62 the entire month. That's the only time. You don't have to be 63 the entire month or 64, but when you start your benefits at 62, you have to be 62 the entire month. So the first month you're 62 the entire month, in your case, John, is November. And remember, you're not starting your benefits the first week in November. You're starting your benefits in November. They don't do the first week or second week. But you will get your check, your first check, in December. The November check will come in December. And because you said you turned 62 yesterday, so you will get your check on the third Wednesday in December because you were born in, well, yesterday was the first. Okay, so you're going to get your check on the fourth Wednesday. So if you're born the first 10 days of the month, you get your check on the second Wednesday. If you're born on the second 10 days of the month, you get it on the third Wednesday. You're in the last 10, 11 days of the month, so you're going to get it on the fourth Wednesday of November. So you are good. With humility, pre-gov assistance, e.g. Great Depression era, primarily churches and philanthropy performed outreach. So my comment is defending humanitarian endeavors despite derogatory colloquialisms. Okay. Wow. Yeah. That's, that's what kind of the Depression that Social Security was started in 1935 during the Depression, because prior to that, yeah, we would have those, and they didn't cover it all. But yeah, we needed to come together as a people and, representative democracy and get our government. But now the government, because of Citizens United, is controlled by, anyway. So I will be 62 in March. When should I apply for my Social Security? And when do I receive my first payment? I have not worked in 4 years and not filed taxes in 4 years. Is that an issue? No, no issue whatsoever with Social Security. IRS might have an issue, but, well, you haven't worked, so it's not an issue, I guess. So you'll be 62 in March. You have to be 62 the entire month. So probably your benefits are going to start in April. You'll get your April check in May. So about 3 months before April. So probably about January, I would, you go online, file online. But the trick with filing online is to make sure that's exactly what you need, is retirement benefits, and you're not looking for disability. The reason you haven't worked in 4 years is because of disability. If that's the case, maybe you should check out disability, because if you file for disability and you're approved, then you don't get that reduction. If you file for retirement benefits at 62, you're going to get a 30% reduction for the rest of your life. If you get disability benefits, you don't get that 30% reduction. So not sure why you stopped working there, but yeah. Someone asked me, what do you know about a particular company's health plans? With all health plans, wow. With all health plans, it really depends on your particular situation. Nobody can tell you that this plan is the best or anything like that until they've gone through these. Because there's a lot of people that, oh, I've got a cousin that has this plan. I've got a next door neighbor that has this plan. So they said they really like it. So I'll get that one too. No, terrible idea. In terms of Medicare Advantage, because your next door neighbor might not have the same doctors, the same prescriptions and everything. So his or her plan might be terrible for you. And a particular company's plan in Portland, that same exact company's plan in Homestead, Florida, is not the same plan. It might have the same name, XYZ Medicare Advantage Gold Awesome Plan, same exact name, but the underlying details, the prices and everything could be completely different. What prescriptions are covered, how much it could be different. So, and it changes every year. Yeah, the whole thing is crazy complicated. So, I've got a couple of video questions, and let's see what we got here.
I am 66. I started my benefits in 2019 as an ex-spouse married 10 years. How can I find out if I am getting the correct amount and if his pay has increased?
Yeah, that's private information. You can't find out whether his pay has increased from Social Security, but you kind of can, because if you're receiving spouse benefits, divorce spouse benefits, and that person is continuing to work and they pay more into Social Security at one of their high 35 years, then their benefits will be recalculated. So it's in that person's best interest to get a higher benefit amount. So if their benefit amount is going to be increased, they're going to make sure it gets increased. So if theirs is increased, then yours will be increased as well if you're receiving spouse benefits on that person's record. So, but yeah, you can't find out how much they're receiving and check his earnings record or anything like that. But that's they can only do that. But it behooves them to do that to make sure they're, accurately recorded.
Hi, I'm 60 years old. I've been diagnosed with PTSD and several other things from childhood issues. I had once had my SSI benefits and lost them back in 2005, but I'm having issues now with staying employed, and I'm wondering how can I go about reapplying again? I'm in the state of North Dakota. I don't know if that matters. Thank you, and God bless you for everything you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So yeah, if you want to reapply for SSI, you had it before. So not how many years. So with those type of SSI type benefits, if you were receiving it for a while and then your benefits were suspended, you thought terminated because of work or something like that, or over resources, you're still kind of in the system. It's just that because you're making too much or you got too much resources, they're just suspended. So it might be just a simple function of restarting those. But it sounds as though yours were completely terminated, and so you just need to restart it. You just go ahead and file for those SSI benefits, low income, low resources. And remember, SSI you can get based on two qualifications, is being disabled or being aged, 65 and older. And the max you can get on SSI for this year is $967.
Hi, my name is Beth. I live in Hawaii. And my father, he had been in the Army. I think it was in the 50s. And when he went in, I believe he was disabled while he was in training. And he received disability because of that. However, he continued to work regardless. And then when I was 20 years old, I had a traumatic brain injury, and I was flown airback to the hospital where he worked in the cat lab. And his VA medical paid for part of the medical care I received. That happened when I was 20. And I began receiving SSI when I was 24 for that disability. And then in 2023, when I was 52 years old, I began receiving disabled adult child benefits. And I got a back payment awarded me of $100,000. I received approximately $20,000 of that, and $60,000 of that was kept as an overpayment because I was receiving SSI for those 30 years that I did not get the disabled adult child benefits. So anyway, I was just wondering if there is a way for me to get the remaining $20,000 that was awarded me. Another question I have.
Okay. All right. So that tells you the fact that, Social Security does the wrong thing. Something happens like that. They can go back. Sounds like they went back several years. So what the situation was is she was eligible for disability benefits, but not regular Social Security disability insurance. Well, it sounds like she was, but they missed that. So they put her on SSI, the welfare-based disability benefits, and she got that for many, many, many years. And then they went back somehow or some way and said, oh, oops, you should have received disabled adult child benefits on your father's record. Sounds like she was air-vac, probably if she was in Hawaii, to Tripler Army Medical Center, where my son was born when I was stationed in the military there. But anyway, they used to call it Crippler for all those people out there. Anyway, it's actually a good hospital. So years later, they said, oops, we should have given you disabled adult child benefits on your father's record. So they rectified that. They went all the way back and said, okay, based on you receiving disabled adult child benefits going back, let's say for 10 years or something, you should have gotten $100,000. So we owed you $100,000, but we paid you, was it $80,000 in SSI? So we'll subtract that, and the difference between SSI, how much we paid you, and what we owed you is this. So here's the check for $20 or $30 or $40,000. So she's saying that she didn't get part of that correctly. They did that sounds like it's would be a calculation that would be easy to mess up. So in that particular case, file a request for reconsideration, and this is going to take some time, unfortunately, because that's a very advanced calculation, manual calculation, and those people that do that were like the people that would do that are people like Mai Jackson. Is the one thing that we do charge for is if you want to talk to Mai, she was she's a retired Social Security employee, and she used to do those crazy calculations like that, and now she does private appointments for us. So if you want a private appointment to talk to a retired Social Security employee, that would be Mai Jackson, and you can schedule an appointment with her. But she would be the type of people that would do that calculation, and most of those people have been moved out of the agency, unfortunately. She wanted to continue to working at Social Security, but yeah, they were pretty much forcing people out. So anyway, so I would, it's an SSA 561, a request for reconsideration. It's a super easy form to fill out. If you can go on to SSA.gov or go onto my website. Oh wait, let me click the right one. You go on to the appeals, and there it is right there, SSA 561. If you don't feel comfortable pushing that button, that's fine. Just type in SSA 561, and you should be able to see it on a, so this is what the form looks like. And then on this one right here, issue being appealed, it only gives you like 3 lines. So just write in there, see attached, and then attach a letter, with the details. Be as easy to understand as possible. And just fill out your information there, sign it, and then send it in. Make a copy of it and then send it in. And then wait, unfortunately. But it sounds like you've been waiting for quite a while. And come back and tell us how it went.
It's regarding the VA. I had tried.
Oh, and she got cut off there because the videos are only 2 minutes long. And but anyway, I'm not a VA specialist. I never worked at the VA, so I never worked at the IRS. I never worked at the VA, so I try to stay in my wheelhouse. So with Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. Last question, and we'll call it a day.
Hi, Ed. I don't know why I don't have an image here, but I called about the My Social Security app, and I found out it's online, and I didn't lose my account. So that was an error, but I did record all my information like you said. So yeah, I was looking for an app, but it was actually, I found my account online.
Okay, yeah, he left a video yesterday, and I responded to it. He said he was looking for an app that he could download for mysocialsecurity.gov, and there isn't one. There might be, so this is a good cautionary tale. Be careful of downloading apps and that look like Social Security. The only Social Security app they have is when you report wages. There's a Medicare app. Is it covered under Medicare, which is a good app? And the only other app that Social Security has right now is reporting wages. But the other thing he said that I wanted to speak about is making a copy, because Doge is in control of Social Security right now. And they are trying, Social Security has requested Congress give them the resources to update their computer system for decades. I mean, Social Security computer system is based on 1970s technology, COBOL and Fortran and stuff. It's terrible. And Social Security every single year says, come on, we really need to update this. And Congress says, no, for years after years after years after year, because they don't want they want Social Security to fail. so they can privatize it. So they've always refused. But Doge is in there now and says, hey, we're going to update the computer system, and we're not going to, do it in a year or 2 years or 3 years like it would take the largest computer system in the world. We're going to do it in 6 months. So a lot of people, not just me, but, people that are really, really good at computers, they're saying, yeah, you can't do that in 6 months. Stuff is going to happen. Mistakes are going to happen. So what I and a lot of other people out there recommend is when you go into your mysocialsecurity.gov website and you see your earnings record there, make a copy of it. If you see how much you're receiving, make a copy of it. Anything you have in Social Security, online there, make a copy of it, screenshot it or something like that. And that way, if something happens in the future, then you've got a paper record. And actually, in Japan, the prime minister lost his job because of that. When in Japan, which is a far smaller Social Security system, they updated the computer system. They lost millions and millions and millions of records, and it became a giant scandal. It took them decades to figure it out. People lost money in the meantime, and the prime minister lost his job. So it does happen, unfortunately. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but it's always good to, you should work with Doge and show them what Social Security is all about. Yeah, I've offered, I tell all the time, Elon Musk, I said, come on to my show. And I'll tell you that, why you're going down the wrong road on this, these vampires collecting Social Security. And they don't want to know. Obviously they don't want to know. All right, we've run out of time. I will be back again tomorrow. If I wasn't able to get to your question today, I will be back again tomorrow. I'll talk about whatever topic of the day we're talking about tomorrow, and then I'll spend the rest of the hour answering any and all of y'all's questions. Y'all have an awesome night, and make sure you check out my new website, our new website, 24help.org. Why 24help? To help, for help. So if to help other people and for help yourself. Is that awesome? 24 hours a day. I'm amazed that website was still available, but we got it. So, but it's just a website right now. It doesn't have any heart or blood in it. That's what I'm asking y'all, to add the heart and the blood and the compassion and the sympathy, and let's look out for everybody else. So y'all take care. Have a beautiful night, and please, 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 please take care of each other. Bye-bye.